If you go to a business conference today, you'll see the business owners on one side of the pavilion, and you'll see the information technology experts on the other side of the pavilion or the exhibition hall. Now, when they do come together for a dialogue, it's interesting to ask them what is really happening in technology today. What really matters, those three words. In this volatile environment, it's international, it's unpredictable. Interestingly, three words emerge when you ask that very important question. When you ask them what really matters in the convergence of technology and business development, how they come together, they'll come up with three answers, and all three answers are words that begin with S. The first one is security, no surprise there. The second one is strategy. The third one is systemization. These three words, security, strategy, and systemization, are critical to actually optimizing and leveraging your investment in technology. They seem to agree on those three words, those attributes. They all begin with S, security, strategy, and of course a lot of talk about that one. And then the third one is systemization. These are the key themes for your future. Now, the interesting thing is, how do you come together and get a consensus about how do you find someone who brings those qualities to the table? How do you find somebody with those attributes? Because you know, if you can find the right vendor or the person or consultant, whatever it is, you're going to be immediately bringing that person into your management meetings, into your strategic planning sessions. The only agreement you can seem to find is that the person or group that's going to provide those three S words that I just mentioned probably going to come from a military background. That's right, a military background. Maybe a planning orientation, or maybe someone with an information strategy orientation. Not just another IT guy, maybe somebody with an aviation background, or somebody who was a pilot in some division of the military. Maybe somebody who's actually participated in a multidimensional planning process having to do with United States Strategic Command, where there's all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of possibilities, some of them very worrisome, obviously, where you're paid to think about all these scenarios and think them all the way through, connect the dots. That's someone you want in your management team, someone managing your data. This brings us to a company in eastern Nebraska called ACK Technology. Now, ACK is an interesting word. It's the first syllable in the word acknowledge, obviously, as you may or may not know. When you link databases or piles of information or code together, they have to acknowledge each other in order to be interoperable. They have to work together. They have to acknowledge the existence of certain kinds of data on both sides of the table. There's a relationship, very germane to having an effectively networked organization. The same is true of ACK. They form relationships around acknowledging and understanding who they're working with, the unusual, unique qualities of your enterprise, all the characteristics and things that are special and unique, and they bring them together, and also the people, by the way. So we're talking about an organization that is inspired by a key IT protocol, ACK, and a rigorous military orientation. If you're interested in working with somebody that has that kind of skill, that kind of strategic value, you may want to talk to ACK Technology in eastern Nebraska and Omaha, Nebraska. They're only available to people that are able to appreciate that kind of high-level insight and strategic input that allows you to not only protect your data, but optimize it for the future. Thanks so much, ACK Technology.